is that
for all of us to pull together
they don't need
to
to
see
be told
how we can mobilize on this, especially to our international and development partners, for the process to succeed. They do need assistance. And what is quite clear is that they don't need to be told what to do, but need to be helped to do that which they, as the owners of Ethiopia, wants to do. And that is my request to all of you, that whoever, in whichever capacity, join hands and support them in what they need to do. It would be truly appreciated. And let me conclude by saying that what has materialized for me over the last few weeks is that truly we as the people of Africa have our own solutions. All we need to do is to engage, to respect, and to honor one another, to love our motherland, to love our continent, and to realize that in whatever capacities we hold, our responsibility is to make this continent better for our children than we found it. There are no differences that are too large to be overcome. And we have seen that in the discussions that we have seen take place between these two gentlemen. And at the end of the day, as it said, you have the freedom to choose your friends, but God has given you your neighbor that you can't choose. You just must learn to live together. And learning to live together is learning to respect one another, is learning to talk to one another, is learning to understand the beauty that we have is our diversity. And for us to learn how we can live with each other within our diversity. Our diversity is our beauty. It should not be a source of division. It should be a source of pride as we share and enjoy diversity instead of our diversity becoming that which breaks us apart. We should celebrate it, should enjoy it, and we should build our continent together. So once again, on my own behalf, and indeed on behalf of all of us who have been involved in the facilitation team, I congratulate you, Marshal Jula. I congratulate you, General Tadesse, and your teams for the spirit and commitment you have shown over the last few days. And our hope and prayer and our commitment also is that we shall walk with you the remainder of the way until we see a lasting peace and the true prosperity that the people of Ethiopia deserve. Thank you.
Your Excellency, former President Olusegun Obasanjo, African Union Special Envoy for the Horn of Africa, Your Excellency, former President Uhuru Kenyatta, former President of the Republic of Kenya, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, based on the agreement reached in Pretoria, South Africa, for lasting peace through permanent cessation of hostility, we military commanders of both sides have been engaged in the detailed discussion on the full implementation of the agreement, emphasizing on the military aspect. We have been engaged in a good spirit and understanding. Accordingly, we want to express our full commitment for bringing peace and stability to our people and country. Therefore, we will fully dedicate ourselves to implement the Pretoria Agreement and this declaration. To this end, we would like to affirm our full commitment to the people of Ethiopia, to this panel and world. I thank you.
Thank you very much.
His Excellency Uhuru Kenyatta, former President of Kenya and member of the panel, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. First and foremost, I would like to thank all of you for your efforts to bring lasting peace to the people of Tigray and people of Ethiopia in general. We fought for the last 2 years to protect our people and defend our interests. We have suffered untold misery over the last 2 years and still continue to suffer. The commitment we are making today is with the hope that expectations that our people's suffering will come to an end and soon. This is a very daunting task in the light of the many spoilers from within or outside who are profiting from this war. It's our expectation that the other party honors its agreement not only to end the conflict but also to facilitate humanitarian access and resumption of service. I thank you.
So I'll call two officers from the department, well, one from IGAD, to step forward with two identical copies of the declaration for the signing by Marshal Jula, General Tadesse, and it will be witnessed by former President Obasanjo and former President Uhuru Kenyatta. Thank you very much.
With immediate effect unhindered humanitarian access. As we sit down here and meet here and talk here, there are people in affected areas of Ethiopia, particularly in Tigray, in Afar, in Amhara, that are dying of lack of humanitarian access, medicine. There are even those who have been injured in the war front who needed attention and medicine and medical attention who are denied because of lack of humanitarian access. And these cannot continue. So with immediate effect, the humanitarian access will resume. Over a period of about 5 months, we did very well before the outbreak of the latest violence. And we believe we can do as well as we have done in the past. And we have assurance that the humanitarian supplies are there. There are those that can go by immediately by air, but the bulk of it, and that is the way to go, the bulk of it will go by road. And we have also streamlined what should be done in terms of checking. There will be check at the bottom, at the point of because you are always pulling my legs. I thought you are pulling it again. There will be check at the port of embarkation, and then at the point of discharging of materials. There will be security as may be required by the humanitarian agencies and workers. And of course, the declaration that my two brothers have signed and have exchanged contain all these provisions so that humanitarian access can begin with immediate effect.
Thank you, President. I think the only part two had to do with the issue of accountability. And I think I just want to go back to what President Obasanjo said. Our first and key priority was, number one, to silence the guns. Number two, to ensure immediate humanitarian access the people of Tigray, to the people in the surrounding regions, but to all the people of Ethiopia, to end the suffering that has been occasioned as a result of this war. But Madam, if you will recall, and you have taken a look at our document that we signed, the agreement that we signed in South Africa, we did, in that main agreement, go through the issue of transitional justice. But that is a process that can only follow once the guns have fallen silent and once we have dealt with the humanitarian crisis. Furthermore, even in this document, we have made a reference once again to the security of the civilian population, mainly women and children. And in this document also, it has been explicitly made out and laid out that there shall be severe sanction on anyone who will commit atrocities against civilians. So we are cognizant of that fact, but we must begin where we must begin.